At the top of Walt's Tower, you're attacked by Garula, who's stronger than the enemy, he was outside on the world map if you fought him. He's got considerably more HP, obviously, but he's also weak to a lot of stuff, so there's some pretty wacky ways to take care of him. And they're mostly as neat as they are obscure for a new player to figure out, so good luck with that if you're new to Final Fantasy V, I suppose. Probably the easiest way to deal with him is you take the whip that you got from the Megissa fight, and you can equip that if you're jobless. And it just so happens that that whip has a chance to paralyze beast types, which Garula is. So if you whack him with that whip, there's an incredibly good chance he'll be paralyzed for the entire fight. But there's a couple blue magic ways you can take care of him. You can Toad Song him to turn him into a toad, which will lower his attack damage considerably, which is the entire part of the fight. He just sits there and attacks you. So if you toad him, his damage will go way down, but he just conveniently happens to no toad himself, so he will cast it on himself to turn back to normal. But you can mute him because he's susceptible to so much stuff. So if you have white magic, you can mute him after you toad him, and then he's trapped in the toad form, and you can beat him to death again. Another blue mage trick, which this is probably the least likely way you can go about it, is if you've learned Flash on North Mountain, which you probably didn't because it's a pain in the ass, is you can blind him and then he'll miss most of the time if you're lucky. If you're unlucky, I mean, he'll hit you all the time. But if for some reason you don't have the whip or frog song, but you did learn Flash, you can just blind him and kill him that way. And then lastly, I suppose you could break the ice rod if you still had it, which does do a lot of damage, but it won't kill him outright, so you'll have to deal with him at low health, which I think he counterattacks the most in that state. I don't know the exact threshold, but as he gets close to death, he'll start counterattacking a lot more, which makes the fight pretty dangerous. And then I suppose if you didn't do any of those things, you could have some sort of wacky plan where you have knights guard everybody, and then they use guard so they take no damage from him. But he hits so hard, it seems, in my experience, very unlikely that someone can get to low enough HP to be covered without dying outright, especially you black mage or your white mage. So I would probably recommend the whip because you hopefully didn't sell it. And then the whip's a sure thing. I'd go with that one.